morning's here with skies so clear, a new beginning, no room for fear. Coffee steams and the breeze rolls in this space, let our joy begin. Cannabis flows like a sweet refrain, easing our hearts, soothing our strain. We rise together, no soul alone, in the cove where peace has grown. Lifted by the light, we rise and shine. Shine up, shine bright. A brand new day where love's divine. Friends at your side, right here by your side. We walk this path with joy as our guide. Oh joy, let it ride. The cove's a home where kindness lives, a place where every heart forgives. The brass calls out like a morning breeze, harmonies drift through the swaying trees. Cannabis lifts us smooth as the sea, setting us free, just you and me. With every sip, with every laugh, we find our way on this morning's path. Lifted by the light, we rise and shine. Shine up, shine bright. A brand new day where love's divine. Ooh, love's divine. Coffee and peace with friends at your side, right here by your side. We walk this path with joy as our guide. Oh joy, let it ride. Let's share this load, light our way on this morning's road. Together we rise, hearts open wide. Peace and love with the sun as our guide. Peace and sunlight. Lifted by the light, we rise and shine. Shine up, shine bright. A brand new day where love's divine. Friends at your side, right here by your side. We walk this path with joy as our guide. Oh joy, let it rise. So gather around, let the spirit glow. Glow, let it glow. Together we rise, together we grow. The sun breaks in through the window pane. Steam from the coffee, a slow burning flame. Feet on the floor, another day starts. Rolling ahead with a light in my heart. Clouds might gather, the road might bend, but I keep moving, no need to pretend. Past is behind, the fire still glows. Where the wind takes me, nobody knows. Just keep it rolling, don't lose the flame. Keep it burning, let it stay the same. Ride with the wind, don't fight the rain. Storms will pass, the sun remains. Every step's a story, every breath a song. Sing it loud, keep moving on. Keep moving forward, just roll along, roll along, roll along. Lessons learned like stones in a stream. Some sink away, some shine in between. The weight gets heavy, the nights feel cold, but I found my way in stories retold. shakes. Every small step still holds its place. The rhythm of life, like the waves on the shore. I take what it gives, I don't ask for more. Just keep it rolling, don't lose the flame. Keep it burning, let it stay the same. Ride with the wind, don't fight the rain. Storms will pass, the sun remains. Every turn, every mile, a piece of the ride. Some days I drift, some days I glide. Through every moment, through every flame. The world keeps spinning, I do the same. The fire still flickers, the ember still glows. Wherever I land, the rhythm still flows. With every sunrise, with every sigh, I take what I need and I let it fly. It's a brand new day, Cove-TV's here to brighten your way. Coffee brews, the rhythm feels right. Spark your morning, let's take flight. Feel the buzz, let the energy ignite. We're your crew, bringing morning delight. So grab your cup and let it flow. Cove-TV morning, let's start the show. Coming up next is the show you know. Cove-TV morning where good vibes grow. Hit that like, don't forget to share. Wake the world, let's go anywhere. First light to the mellow groove, we're here together, finding our move. Conversations flow, hearts align. Cove-TV morning where moments shine. Whether you're near or miles away, we're the start of a beautiful day. Roll it up, sip it slow. Cove-TV morning, let's start the show. Your head, let the good vibes rain. Cove-TV's magic, ease in the strain. Every laugh, every note we play reminds us all it's a brand new day. Coming up next is the show you know. Cove-TV morning where good vibes grow. Hit that like, don't forget to share. Wake the world, let's go anywhere. Good vibes rain, Cove-TV's magic, ease in the strain.
Push the goddamn button! Push the goddamn button!
Good, totally terrific, Twisted Kitty, Tie-Dye, Turpy, Taco, Token, Tunes, Tuesday morning, everybody. What is up? How is everybody's morning going? I hope everybody's off to a dope-ass start to their Tuesday. Let's fucking go. Cheers, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, Amber. How are you? I hope you are having a wonderful morning. Good morning, Mindy. How are you? Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday morning. What is up, Christina? How are you, dear? I hope you are having a wonderful morning. Good morning, Ma. How are you? I hope you are having a wonderful morning. Good morning, Kay. How are you, dear? Hope you are having a wonderful Tuesday morning. Good morning, Mama D. How are you, dear? Hope you are having a wonderful morning. Good morning, Crystal. How are you? I hope you are having a wonderful morning. What up, DJ Ash? How are you, dear? I hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday morning. Good morning, Brother Bill. How are you? I hope you are having a wonderful morning. Good morning, Sandra. How are you? I hope you're having a wonderful morning. Good morning, Chance. How are you doing, brother? Hope you are having a wonderful morning. Hey, good morning, Benjamin. How are you, man? I hope you are having a wonderful Tuesday morning. I hope everybody's off to a dope-ass start to their day. It's going to be a great fucking Tuesday. I'm super excited for today. Let's go. But we got to wake and bake first, y'all. Cheers, cheers.
The morning's here, the horizon glows. With every comment, a connection grows. Coffee steam rises, a comforting sight. Your smiles, your vibes make the day feel right. The Cove awakens, together we shine. Each of you here is a blessing divine. Cannabis sparks and the laughter flows. In this sunrise moment, the magic shows. Wake up with you, it's a beautiful start. The Cove's a place that's close to my heart. Each voice, each laugh, a melody true. Sunrise sessions wouldn't shine without you. Through every dawn, we've built this bond. A family of light, stretching far and beyond. Rolling the herb, sharing the brew. Moments like this feel sacred with you. The rhythm of life, gentle and kind, echoes in hearts with peace intertwined. Together we stand as the morning breaks. A sunrise with you is all it takes. Wake up with you, it's a beautiful start. The Cove's a place that's close to my heart. Each voice, each laugh, a melody true. Sunrise sessions wouldn't shine without you. Wake up with you, it's a beautiful start. The Cove's a place that's close to my heart. Each voice, each laugh, a melody true. Sunrise sessions wouldn't shine without you. Every smile you share, every story told, a treasure we hold, more precious than gold. You lift the light, you brighten the way. The Cove feels alive with you every day.
Cheers, cheers. I hope everybody's having a wonderful Tuesday morning. If you have not dropped your Getting Stoned word, please do. We got Amber getting Mindy stoned. Christina again. Oh, I spelled that all wrong. Ma with K, my, D only, and Crystal with some friends. Hey, welcome back, Christina. How are you? I hope you are having a wonderful morning. Great Monday yesterday. Dope ass shows. If anybody missed the interview with Music by Jaden, definitely go back and give it a listen. It was a great interview. I do have a clip here we can show.
Okay. And so the Cove-TV, as it is right now, of course, is a cannabis-friendly broadcasting channel. Was there ever any talk of it not being that way? Talk me through the idea of coming up with Cove-TV and implementing like some cannabis-focused stuff on your channel.
So I guess there really hasn't ever been talk about it being not cannabis, friendly or whatever. We do have viewers that don't smoke. We have viewers that do smoke. It's more of a place for everybody. The games that we play, some of them are, essentially smoking games where, if you want to cut back and let loose, but you can also just enjoy them too and not smoke or, and I don't know. I feel like it's an amazing place for everybody to come together to hang out and escape the stress of the world for a couple hours a day, a couple times a day. Truly connect with each other and get to know each other on more of a personal basis, I guess.
Yeah. And now I've played some of these games with you guys and they are very fun. Which one is your favorite?
Stoner Roulette. Not really. I hate that game. I don't know. I don't hate that game. I kind of do. No, it's a dope ass interview. Yes, Christina, I believe your word came through. Mindy, are you still rocking with us? Do you want to drop that word stoned? Yeah, it was great. It was great. Fuck Stoner Roulette. Yeah, I think I just said that. And then great roller faker yesterday. Great retoke. That was dope. Definitely go back and check it out. Cops and Magic hosted the retoke last night. And who the fuck knows last night? That was dope. That was a lot of fun. We played the happy birthday game. I can send it to you also, Ma. Right, love the game, hate to play the game. Yeah, absolutely. Played the happy birthday game with Manberry yesterday. It was like 155, not counting the stragglers, and then you had like 52 stragglers, if I remember right. You are so very welcome, Ma. All right, who would be next? Ooh, Ash, do you want to drop that word stoned in case Mindy misses it? Hey, good morning, Kels. Drive safe, please. It's super early over there. Super sleepy, Kelsey. Okay. Okay. Today we've got this day in history coming up here after 4:20. We'll do our morning speaker. Super pumped for Guardians of Unity this afternoon, y'all. Oh my goodness! And then it's motherfucking Token Tunes tonight. Let's go. Super excited for Europe to not win the belt again. He had fucking so many songs last week. Like, he's only got so many songs left. So. Ashley, are you still rocking with us? Do you want to drop that word stoned? And then if not Ashley, it would be Brother Bill would be our next getting stoned worder. If you want to drop that word stoned. That's great. Yes, safe travels, Mama Kels or Mama Dad or Chick. I'm not sure how. Hey, good morning, Gary. How are you? I hope you are having a wonderful morning. Hey, thank you, Ash. All right, getting stoned again with my own friends. All right, we are in our final countdown. Hey, perfect timing. That's great. '20, 19, 18, 17. Let's go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy 420, everybody. Much love, Bill. Thank you for that. I appreciate it either ways, man. Cheers. Cheers. Maybe. If I can find the sound. There we go.
Smoke weed every day.
Twice on Token Tunes Tuesday, y'all. Cheers, cheers, cheers. It has been a dope-ass day so far, Gary. I'm very excited. Tuesdays are always fucking awesome days. Good morning, Vicki. How are you, dear? I hope you are having a wonderful Tuesday morning. Right, Sandra? That's what I was thinking when you said that. I was like, is that morning show appropriate? How would I do? I don't know. I'm just talking with you, though. We'll show one more clip from last night's interview, or yesterday's interview, whatever. So then this is like right after where we left off on the what's your favorite game part. It's funny, this would happen before we played Stoner Roulette. She should ask me after we played Stoner Roulette. Favorite game has to probably be my favorite game has to probably be the Stoner Roulette game. It's a game that isn't really a whole lot of pre-produced. Plus, it gives, we sit and we take names on the wheel. I mean, I know you've seen it, but just to explain, we take names on the wheel for about 40 to 45 minutes, and then we play the game. So anybody who, it could be their first time jumping in. I think one of the first times you watched the Cove, you jumped into play. And, we also have games where people are on teams and there's more production stuff that goes involved into it. Stoner Roulette is just a very simple, easy game that anybody can play. You don't even have to smoke to play it, and you don't even have to be present to technically win.
Mm. Yes, and it was very fun.
I love
it. So with everything going on in the world, and there's so many different people with so many different things, just everything going on, why do you think it's important to have a space like this online?
Well, I feel like everybody has so much going in their life, going on in their life, like you had said. And it seems like a lot of the places that I've seen, people seem to carry their drama and personal life overly into that situation. And there really isn't a place where you can just leave your stuff at the door, come sit down for a couple hours, come hang out, smoke if you want to, don't smoke. We try to do, play good music, uplifting music, play fun games, interactive games. I mean, it is all about the people in the comments and the ones watching. We make it a point to personally say hello to people. And I just feel like, and then when the show is over, we usually have pretty structured shows. And when the show is over, then all right, everybody, it's back to our lives. We had a lot of fun, but, it's time to get back to the real world. And I feel like it's super, super important to be able to give your mind that break, even if it's, there's some people that watch just the morning show or just the afternoon show. Abso-fucking-lutely. Let's go, Gators. Let's go. Fuck yes. I was very nervous, partially, last night watching. I didn't know, but hell of a comeback. It's like been there, fucking traditional. I don't know what word I'm looking for, but it's been the same. They've been doing that all fucking March Madness. They get their asses kicked in the first half, and then they come back and destroy it. Oh, much love, you guys. Thank you, thank you. Drive safe, Kelsey. Let us know when you get to the airport. Let us know when you're leaving the airport. Let us know when you get home. Let us know when your mom lands. Keep us fucking updated, please. Much love, Kelsey. It was great. It was a great interview. I thought that Jaden did very well. Thank you for coming up and helping me, Kels. I appreciate you so very much. I don't know what you know on cannabis stuff. I couldn't do it without you, for sure. Couldn't do it without any of you. We all bring such amazing perspectives and knowledge to the table that there's plenty of stuff that I don't know a damn thing about. That's a real thing. All right, let's play a song and then we'll figure out where we're at with our morning. Let's go with... I haven't played this one in a minute. Cheers, cheers.
The sun creeps up, painting skies in gold. The Cove awakens, a story to be told. Feel the sand in beneath, so soft, so warm. A tranquil escape where peace is born. Music flows like the morning tide, a rhythm of life we can't hide. Roll it up, let the good vibe show, a spark of bliss in the soft dawn glow. We're dancing in the dawn, where the world feels alive. With every step the music lets us thrive. The touch of the sand, the rhythm so free. Moments like this are all we need. space. Roll the green, let the clouds drift high. A moment of magic beneath the sky. Time slows down as the day takes hold. The Cove, our temple, the sunrise gold. Feel the rhythm, let the music play. A celebration of life in every way. We're dancing in the dawn, where the world feels alive. With every step, the music lets us thrive. The touch of the sand, the rhythm so free. Moments like this are all we need. Inhale the calm, let it fill your soul. Exhale the world, let the good vibes roll. The Cove and the sea, they call our song. Dancing in the dawn where we belong. We're dancing in the dawn where the world feels alive. With every step, the music lets us thrive. The touch of the sand, the rhythm so free. Moments like this are all we need. Inhale the calm, let it fill your soul. Exhale the world, let the good vibes roll. The Cove and the sea, they call our song. Dancing in the dawn where we belong.
All right, everybody, here we go with this day in history for April 8th, or 8th April, as some like to call it.
Welcome back. Today we have a word, of course. We'll talk about a public figure. We have a song and a quote. And while this introduction may seem a bit understated for the content that I have for you today, I didn't want to give it all away before we get into it. So grab your favorite cuppa, settle in, and let's have a look. Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for April 8th. April 8th is the 98th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 99th in leap years, with 267 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is inimical. Inimical is an adjective that means tending to obstruct or harm, as in actions inimical to our interests, or hostile, unfriendly, or harmful, as in an inimical alien power. The word inimical is often used in more formal or literary contexts to describe something that is actively opposed to or harmful to something else. Some example sentences could be, her policies were inimical to the success of small business, or he avoided the topic knowing the atmosphere was inimical to peaceful negotiation, or excessive heat is inimical to the survival of certain delicate plants. The word inimical comes to us from Latin, a combination word that meant not and friend, not friendly. You could think of it as the dark twin of amicable, which means friendly. The word inimical made its way to the English language in about the 1500s. Inimical. And with that, this is the birthday of 40th First Lady of the United States, Betty Ford. Born Elizabeth Ann Bloomer on April 8, 1918 in Chicago, Illinois in the U.S., she was raised in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Betty had an early passion for dance. She moved to New York City and worked as a fashion model to finance her dance studies under the legendary Martha Graham. Her mother didn't want Betty to pursue a dance career, though, and insisted Betty come back home to Grand Rapids. They settled on a compromise, being that Betty would come home for 6 months, and if she still wanted to go be a dancer, her mother wouldn't object. Turns out that she did stay in Grand Rapids after all, married a fellow named William Warren. Ultimately, that marriage didn't work out and they divorced. Then some friends introduced her to Gerald Ford. He was running for a seat in the U.S. House of Representatives at the time, and they waited a bit to marry because he wasn't sure how voters would feel about his marrying a divorced ex-dancer. Of course, such a thing wouldn't raise an eyebrow these days, but that was back in the 1940s. They did get married in October of 1948 and remained so for the next 58 years until his passing in 2006. The Fords had 4 children together, and she supported her husband in his political career while raising their family. Betty's husband, Gerald Ford, was making plans to retire from Congress in the early 1970s when Spiro T. Agnew resigned as vice president in 1973. When that happened, President Nixon nominated Gerald Ford to serve as vice president. He was ultimately confirmed as vice president, and Betty Ford became Second Lady of the United States. Gerald Ford then became president the following year in 1974, when President Nixon stepped down, making Betty Ford First Lady. As First Lady, Betty Ford wasn't afraid to speak her mind. She championed women's rights, openly supported the Equal Rights Amendment, and talked candidly about abortion rights at a time when few in her position would dare to do so. When she was diagnosed with breast cancer, she publicly shared her experience, helping break the stigma around the disease and encouraging women across the country to seek early detection and treatment. Betty's openness extended to her personal battles. After facing struggles with addiction to alcohol and prescription medication, she bravely sought treatment and then turned her experience into action. In 1982, she co-founded the Betty Ford Center, which became a leading facility for addiction recovery and has helped countless people reclaim their lives. Her work earned her many honors, including the Presidential Medal of Freedom and the Congressional Gold Medal, but perhaps her greatest legacy is the way she humanized the role of First Lady, using it as a platform for real conversations about health, equality, and recovery. Betty Ford passed away in 2011 at the age of 93, but her legacy continues to inspire, reminding us that courage and compassion can change lives. Today's song is one called The Remember Song by Tom Rush. Tom started out in his music career recording Southern and Appalachian folk and old-time country songs. Later on, he sang songs that had been written by up-and-coming young singer-songwriters like Joni Mitchell, Jackson Browne, James Taylor, and several others, helping them gain recognition early in their careers. The video for today's song, The Remember Song, was published on YouTube 18 years ago now and has gotten over 7.5 million views. He said of it, "I've been waiting 45 years to be an overnight sensation, and it's finally happened. A video clip of my performance, The Remember Song, has gone viral. I felt terrible at first, thinking I was being accused of being a musical equivalent of Ebola, but my children explained to me that this was a good thing." What a card. I imagine at least some of my audience can relate. The Remember Song by Tom Rush. Link in the description. How about that? It's funny sometimes how these episodes come together. This time, the quote arrived first. And then I thought, I might have to explain that. What does that even mean? And so we got the word of the day. And then I found Mrs. Ford. I may have mentioned her for April 8th in a previous year, but not anywhere nearly as in-depth as today. And then the song. Rather a long story, how I came by that one, but I've talked enough already. So let's move on into today's quote, which is, All excesses are inimical to nature. Hippocrates. All excesses are inimical to nature. Alrighty, y'all take care. Be good to each other. I'll see you tomorrow. So glad for editing. It's inimical to peaceful negotiation. All right. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoyed this series, you can check out the playlists in the description. You can find me on BitChute, Facebook, Odyssey, Rumble, YouTube, and X, as well as on a blog page called No Really. All those links are in the description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.
That was great. Inimical. I've never heard that word before. And song of the day. No, sounds not familiar at all. Good morning, Boxman. How are you? I hope you are having a wonderful morning, brother. Good morning, Brother Source Rex. How are you, man? I hope you are having a wonderful morning. Oh, we'll be all right. I have... Well, there's a whole dog over there that I have to deal with. She's ridiculous. Get it, Morgan. Get it. She's just being silly. All right. Our song of the day, which doesn't really sound familiar, but we'll see where we go with it. Remember song. I'm sure some people might say April. Maybe. All right, here we go. Tom Rush with the Remember song. Oh, now she's, who knows? Oh, she's gone. I don't know where she's going.
Judy mentioned something about if you remember the 60s, you weren't really there. Which brought to mind a song. This is kind of a modern day yuppie blues. I'm looking for my wallet and my car keys. Well, they can't have gone too far. Just as soon as I find my glasses, I'm sure I'll see just where they are. I'm supposed to meet someone for lunch today, but I can't remember where or who it is that I am meeting. It's in my organizer somewhere. I might have left it on the counter, or maybe outside in the car. The last time I remember driving was to that memory enhancement seminar. What's that far off distant ringing and that strangely familiar tone? Must be the person I am meeting, calling me on my brand new cordless telephone. I might have left it under the covers, maybe outside on the lawn. And I've got just one more ring to go before my answering machine kicks on. Hi, this is Tom, and your call means a lot to me. So leave a message at the tone, and I'll do my best to try to remember to call you back when I get home. Beep. Tom, This is Gwendolyn, and I'm trying not to cry. But I've been waiting here for over an hour. I thought you loved me. This is goodbye. The voice sounds familiar. And the name, it rings a bell. Let's see now, where was I? Oh, well.
That was fucking awesome. I've never heard that before. That's fucking great. Great song pick of the day. Great to stay in history. I've never heard of that Tom Rush character. That's pretty good. So I have to remember that one. All right. I'll let Morgan back in and keep an eye on the door there. So we'll play one more song. Let's go with this one. Cheers, everybody.
Wake up slow, let the morning shine. The Cove calls us, it's a peaceful sign. Coffee brewing, bowls packed tight. Gathering with ganja, everything feels right. Feet in the sand, hearts open wide. We're all connected, no need to hide. With every toke, the worries fade. Sunday mornings where love's displayed. Gather us with ganja, let the spirit flow. Feel the warmth from the highs we know. Together we rise with each slow exhale. In the Cove, good vibes prevail. Gather us with ganja, let joy abide. Peace and unity side by side. Breathe in deep, let your soul ignite. Together we shine in the morning light.
Wake up slow, let the morning shine. The Cove calls us, it's a peaceful sign. Coffee brewing, bowls packed tight. Gathering with ganja, everything feels right. Feet in the sand, hearts open wide. We're all connected, no need to hide. With every toke, the worries fade. Sunday mornings where love's displayed. Gather us with ganja, let the spirit flow. Feel the warmth from the highs we know. Together we rise with each slow exhale. In the Cove, good vibes prevail. Gather us with ganja, let joy abide. Peace and unity side by side. Breathe in deep, let your soul ignite. Together we shine in the morning light. Vibes prevail.
All right, everybody. I hope everybody's having a dope ass Tuesday morning. I think we're gonna introduce something new this morning, maybe, and see how it goes. I watched this series called Timeline, and it's so dope, and it goes year to year to year to year to year to year to year, and they're always adding new ones. So we'll do a shorter morning speaker after this, but we're gonna start with the year 1970, and I fucking love the Timeline series. I'm not sure. I hate it that it does that. If anybody's seen or heard of these, it's a channel on YouTube called Weird History, and they're such a great Great channel. Definitely check them out. It's about 20 plus minutes. It's not terribly long. So, but for anybody, it's a great blast to the past. And there's all sorts of cool information about history that we learn. So let's go. Where am I here? Okay, I'm going to try. Sorry. Yeah, absolutely, Bill. I understand that. But it doesn't make it, like, suck any less. You know what I mean? Like, hey, here we go. All right. All right, Timeline Tuesday. We'll see how it goes. And maybe one day we'll try to like watch it, but I don't think that's gonna be a good thing that's gonna happen. But it's cool. There's some commercials and stuff thrown in there, and yeah. So this is 1970, everybody. Here we go.
"1970. The year that brought the swinging 60s to a close was about as harsh a morning after as the Poseidon Adventure, although that was still a few years away. After instilling the nation with the blind optimism of flower power and Beatlemania, the back half of the 1960s came crashing down with the assassination.
Good morning, Cornbread. I hope you're having a wonderful morning. We're changing it up a little bit, and we're doing a timeline from 1970. I fucking love this shit. It's so interesting. I've heard this like 1,000 times. Yes, this is just the year 1970, though. We'll go year to year to year.
Assassinations of John F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King Jr., the beginning of the Vietnam War, and the Manson family.
Go ride a horse.
1970 rode that bleak wave into a decade marked by geopolitical unrest, gas shortages, natural disasters, serial killers, terrorism, and one of the biggest scandals in 20th century American politics. And also a bunch of really groovy movies. Almost too many, really.
Oh, I can imagine quite a bit.
We're going to talk about the news, culture, sports, and entertainment, and all that was weird in the 70s. This is Timeline. Get ready for some forgettable Beatles solo albums, because this one is all about 1970. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History channel and let us know in the comments below your favorite 70s memory. Now, are you ready to boogie down?
Let's all dance through the night together.
Despite positive changes brought about by the civil rights movement and a national excitement over the possibilities of space exploration following Neil Armstrong's historic first steps on the moon, the decade began on uncertain ground. 2/3 of Americans disapproved of the U.S.'s involvement in the Vietnam War. The year ahead would see the continued proliferation of nuclear weapons, a shocking display of state violence, an infamous space disaster that nearly ended in tragedy, and the dissolution of one of the most influential bands of all time. But it wasn't all bad.
The Hollywood coroner says an overdose of narcotics is responsible for the death of the well-known rock singer Janis Joplin.
Okay, so it was mostly bad. Some years just start out in desperate need of a do-over and never fully recover.
When we get started.
When do we get started?
At 9.
This is 1970.
Good morning, Brother Scroy. I hope you're having a wonderful morning. We're doing a timeline, jump back to 1970. I hope everybody's interested in this. I fucking find them so great. And I don't know if we could do it every Tuesday. I don't know. Here we go.
And now, Mr.
The Who's drummer and resident party animal Keith Moon kicked off the decade by drunkenly running over his own chauffeur while trying to escape an unruly mob of skinheads outside a pub in London. The group surrounded Moon's Bentley and began pelting it, at which point Moon's driver, Neil Boland, climbed out to confront them. The skinheads pummeled Boland mercilessly, and a terrified Moon grabbed the wheel and took off. This was ultimately ruled an accident, and Moon was cleared of any wrongdoing, although it haunted the drummer for the rest of his life.
Where are you? Still didn't answer my question.
Which was?
You were sort of lost in thought when I came in. What about?
Maybe I was trying to be one of your grandmother's gypsies. Read the future in the flames.
4 months after leading a military coup against Libya's King Idris, Muammar al-Gaddafi is declared premier of Libya by the government he just created. Funny how that works out. Gaddafi was an army captain and fierce Arab nationalist who sought to purge Libya of Western influence, removing U.S. and British military bases from the country, and deporting Libyans with Italian and Jewish heritage within his first year of power. The controversial dictator remained in power for just over 40 years, until he would be captured and killed by members of Libya's National Liberation Army on October 20th, 2011, during the First Libyan Civil War. It's safe to say his popularity rating had dropped some in the intervening years.
This isn't a hospital! It's an insane asylum! And it's your fault! Because you don't do anything to this guy right now!
What do you want me to do?
Put him under arrest! See what a court-martial thinks of that drunken hooliganism!
Famed folk pop duo Simon and Garfunkel released their final studio album, Bridge Over Troubled Water, on January 26th, before splitting up for good later that year. Their swan song, considered by many to be the pair's best, went on to become one of the best-selling albums of all time, with over 25 million copies sold worldwide. That's a whole lot of wax. Speaking of landmark albums, the Jackson 5's first single, I Want You Back, reached the #1 spot on the Billboard Hot 100 on January 31st, fresh off their history-making appearance on The Ed Sullivan Show in December.
Here's the usual Jackson 5, opening with a medley of their hits that have sold over 1 million.
The group released 3 other #1 singles that year, ABC, The Love You Save, and I'll Be There, making them the first recording artists in history to have their first 4 singles reach the top spot.
Good morning, Cheryl. Drive safe, please. I hope you have a wonderful day. We're just hanging out, and we're doing a flashback to 1970 this Tuesday morning for maybe a new segment called Timeline Tuesday. I don't know. Here we go. Much love.
Flash forward to October 7th, 1971, when the group's magnetic lead singer, Michael Jackson, released his first single as a solo artist, Got to Be There, when he was just 13 years old.
We'll be right back.
Give me a J, give me an A. When I'm eating alphabet, I'm okay. I'm gonna eat a dog. What, you crazy man? What's that spell? Dog. I ate it. Gonna eat the alphabet A to the C.
I want you to remember that no bastard ever won war by dying for his country. You won it by making the other poor dumb bastard die for his country.
The legendary heavy metal band Black Sabbath released their self-titled debut album on February 13th, introducing the world to their colorful frontman, Ozzy Osbourne, for the first time.
We like the name Black Sabbath, so we just like the name, you know.
Why did you pick the name in the first place?
Why did the Beatles pick the Beatles, you know? Nobody knows.
According to the band's guitarist, Tony Iommi, the album was recorded in one day during a single 12-hour session. Black Sabbath's debut is widely considered to be the first heavy metal album, and one of the most influential records of the 20th century. The Chicago 7, the name given to the men standing trial for allegedly inciting a riot during anti-Vietnam protests at the Democratic National Convention in August of 1968, were found innocent on charges of conspiracy on February 18th. Rennie Davis, David Dellinger, John Freunds, Tom Hayden, Abby Hoffman, Jerry Rubin, and Lee Weiner were all acquitted.
The judge knows that the only one who's in contempt of his court is Julius Hoffman.
We're going to have demonstrations at local courts across this country.
The last witness was a rebuttal to Rennie's testimony. It was hysterical. He didn't see any defendant there. He didn't see anybody on a bullhorn yelling, kill a pig. Nothing. Where's their case? I seen more evidence in a case of scotch.
Davis, Dellinger, Hayden, Hoffman, and Rubin were convicted of crossing state lines to start a riot. But those convictions, along with several others for contempt of court, were eventually reversed. In late March, the United States detonated its 500th nuclear device since dropping atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945 as part of its ongoing nuclear testing program. America would set off more than 1,000 nuclear explosions before a moratorium was placed on testing by President George H.W. Bush. In October 2nd, 1992, President Clinton extended the moratorium and signed the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty in 1996.
The treaty will constrain any nation from improving its existing nuclear arsenal and end the development of advanced nuclear weapons and help to stop their spread.
The treaty has yet to be ratified by Congress. Not that we're going to start setting off nukes again. We just like to keep our options open. At the end of March, jazz legend Miles Davis released his 27th studio album, Bitches Brew. The album would go on to become Davis's highest charting, topping out at number 35, and would earn him the first gold record of his career. To date, Bitches Brew is regarded as one of the best jazz albums ever recorded.
Just checking, is everybody enjoying it? Is everybody, I don't know if not having the visuals makes it, if you're missing. I don't know. It's new, so I just checking. Let me know.
On April 1st, President Richard Nixon signed a bill banning cigarette advertising on radio and television.
Hey, how would you like to have a phone like that?
Great, then I can see you all the time.
Don't settle for some of the taste, some of the time. Viceroy gives you all the taste, all the time.
To the woe of the tobacco industry, this was not an April Fool's joke.
Philip Morris Company has bought all commercial time on the first half hour of all the network talk shows tonight. That is the last half hour on which it is legal to sell cigarettes on radio or television in the United States. It marks, as we like to say, the end of an era.
Regulation of the tobacco industry had ramped up following increasingly alarming health studies linking smoking to cancer, heart disease, and birth defects, including a report by the Surgeon General linking smoking to low birth weight. The last televised cigarette ad ran on January 1st, 1971, at 11:50 p.m. during The Johnny Carson Show. The hearts of millions of Beatlemaniacs around the world were shattered on April 10th, when Paul McCartney officially announced his departure from the Beatles. In the spirit of the well-known tensions that had steadily developed between the bandmates, McCartney revealed he would no longer be working with the rest of the Fab Four in a press release promoting the impending release of his solo album, McCartney. The release took the form of a fictional Q&A, featuring questions reportedly written mostly by Sir Paul himself. Despite the fact that neither the general public nor the rest of the Beatles themselves initially knew how seriously to take McCartney's announcement, it turned out to be the real deal. The band never reunited. Keeping it real classy, Sir Paul. One day later, Apollo 13 embarked on its ill-fated voyage to the moon. 2 days into the mission, an oxygen tank at the command module failed, forcing the crew, Jim Lovell, Fred Hayes, and Jack Swigert, to abandon their planned lunar landing.
Houston, we've had a problem.
Over the next 3 days, the entire nation held its breath as NASA Mission Control worked tirelessly in a race against time to bring the 3 astronauts home. The crew finally returned safely to Earth, thanks to some DIY ingenuity that would have made MacGyver proud.
The men of Apollo 13 epitomize the character that accepts danger and surmounts it. Theirs is the spirit that built America.
Flash forward to June 30th, 1995, when director Ron Howard's blockbuster film about the unforgettable mission was released in theaters.
Houston, we have a problem.
The appropriately titled Apollo 13 went on to become the second highest grossing movie of 1995 and was nominated for 9 Oscars.
We'll be right back.
Introducing the G.I. Joe Space-O-Matic. Space-O-Matic, the futuristic space vehicle you program yourself. Program it to lift, or to scoop, or use the magnetic pickup.
Watch this. Way to go, Joe.
G.I. Joe Space-O-Matic from Hasbro.
Moving into May, America watched in horror as 28 National Guardsmen fired into a crowd of unarmed students at Ohio's Kent State University, killing 4 and wounding 9 others, leaving 1 victim permanently paralyzed.
Leave this area immediately.
The National Guard had been deployed 2 days earlier in response to escalating student protests against the Vietnam War. The Guardsmen, armed with tear gas and bayoneted rifles, first ordered the demonstrators to disperse before firing into the crowd without warning. The event sparked widespread outrage and demonstrations on college campuses across America. Ultimately, a federal court dropped all charges against the National Guard troops responsible for the shootings. The Beatles' final studio album, Let It Be, was released on May 8th. Just a few weeks after the news of their official breakup left millions of fans confused. The album, released alongside a documentary film of the same name, was met with an equally mild response, earning the group some of the most mediocre reviews of their career. Despite its lukewarm initial reception, Let It Be won the Fab Four an Academy Award for Best Original Song Score the following year.
On their behalf, thank you very much.
And has since been reappraised by fans and critics alike as the Beatles' most underrated album. The band's tense rehearsal sessions were captured on film for the documentary, and later repurposed by none other than Peter Jackson in an 8-hour documentary series about the creation of the album, titled The Beatles. Get back. Leave it to Peter Jackson to turn an 80-minute movie into an epic. Maybe one day he can do the reverse to those Hobbit movies. Staying with music, founding Fleetwood Mac guitarist Peter Green walked away from the band following a final performance on May 20th to join a German commune he discovered a few months earlier. Green had been invited to a party at the commune by model and actress Uschi Obermeier. Green decided he didn't want to leave. Bandmate Mick Fleetwood and 2 Fleetwood Mac roadies had to literally drag him away to complete the rest of their European tour.
John is to this day absolutely furious with these people. He called them a German jet set, and they captured Peter completely.
Hey, it was the 70s. You might wander off and join a cult was just an occupational hazard for musicians. In fact, flash forward to March of 1971, when guitarist Jeremy Spencer went out to get a magazine while Fleetwood Mac was in California to play a series of shows at the Whiskey A Go-Go and never returned. Spencer left to join the infamous Children of God cult, now known as the Family International. He remains a member to this day. That's one way to avoid the drama of making rumors.
Who do you think you're talking to? Some kid that fixes bicycles? I know every inch of the 707. Take the wings off this and you could use it as a tank. This plane is built to withstand anything, except a bad pilot.
All right, hold it. This kind of talk will get us nowhere.
In late May, Detroit Tigers outfielder Al Kaline suffered one of sports' most bizarre injuries during a game against the Milwaukee Brewers. While running to catch a fly ball, Kaline collided with teammate Jim Northrup so violently that he actually swallowed his tongue. Kaline collapsed on the field, unable to breathe. His teeth were clenched so tightly that Milwaukee's bullpen coach, Jackie Moore, was unable to force his mouth open. Luckily, left fielder and renowned slugger Willie Horton had the Hulk strength necessary to pry Kaline's jaws open and clear his airway, leaving Horton with scars on his hand. Kaline ultimately only missed 1 game, and Horton was presented with the Michigan Heart Association Award for his actions.
We'll be right back.
Come on, it's the Pepsi way. Come on and have a Pepsi day. You found a place to celebrate. Pepsi's cold food is great. Come on, have a Pepsi day. You're the Pepsi generation. Pepsi day.
On June 20th, UCLA fired Assistant Professor of Philosophy Angela Davis for the 2nd time. This firing was for her use of inflammatory language in speeches about the handling of the People's Park rally the previous summer, in which she characterized the police as pigs and the university regents as killers and murderers.
3 weeks ago, there were pigs on the campus attacking everybody they saw.
The People's Park rally deviated from its topic of the Arab-Israeli conflict into a protest, which turned into a park takeover, in which police fired shotguns into crowds of demonstrators, ending the life of 1 and injuring dozens more. The college had previously terminated Davis's employment back in September of 1969 because she was a member of the Communist Party. Davis was also an activist and member of the Black Panthers, which will matter when we fast forward to October 13th, 1970, when Davis was arrested after a 2-month manhunt for her connection to the Marin County Civic Center domestic terrorist attack on August 7th. Using 3 guns owned by Davis, one of which was a shotgun she had purchased just 2 days before, 4 men took 5 hostages from a courtroom, including Superior Court Judge Harold Haley. They demanded the release of 3 black inmates who were on trial for the stabbing of a white prison guard. 3 of the kidnappers and the judge were killed. Davis spent 16 months in prison awaiting her trial, but was eventually acquitted of any crime. She continues her activism to this day.
Here we go with the top 40 hits in the nation this week on American Top 40. This is Casey Kasem in Hollywood.
The syndicated radio countdown show American Top 40 with Casey Kasem aired its first episode on the 4th of July. The show, in which Kasem counted down the top 40 Billboard singles of the week, became a staple of American culture for the next several decades.
All right, all you dream analysts, turn up the sound. Here's Eric Burden with his new group called War, and the song is called Spill the Wine.
Kasem's sonorous voice is what we think of when we hear the words Top 40 DJ. He walked so Carson Daly and Ryan Seacrest could run. Incidentally, Seacrest is the current host of American Top 40, which he took over from a retiring Kasem in 2004. In addition to the radio, you might recognize Kasem as the original voice of Shaggy on Scooby-Doo.
I'm so scared. I wish I had a ham sandwich to calm my nerves.
A character he played for roughly 40 years. A week later, Norwegian ethnologist Thor Heyerdahl completed his trip across the Atlantic, sailing from Morocco to Barbados in a raft in 57 days. The trip was an effort to prove Heyerdahl's theory that the ancient Egyptians and other ancient Mediterranean civilizations actually sailed to America and exchanged trade and culture with the people in Central and South America. Heyerdahl's raft, the Ra II, was constructed of papyrus and modeled after Egyptian sailing vessels of the period. Despite successfully completing the 4,000-mile journey, his theory is still not accepted by most anthropologists.
Well, several things have been proven. One of them is definitely that a papyrus vessel is seaworthy.
You go on a 57-day raft trip and you get nothing? That's gotta sting. Moving into September, legendary football coach Vince Lombardi passed away at age 57.
Mr. Vincent Lombardi, coach and executive vice president of the Washington Redskins, died at 7:12 a.m. today at Georgetown University Hospital.
Lombardi led the Green Bay Packers to 5 NFL championships, including the first 2 Super Bowls. After his death, the Super Bowl trophy was renamed the Vince Lombardi Trophy. To this day, Lombardi is regarded as the greatest coach in the history of the NFL.
Most times, streets are named after the deceased. I just want you to know I'm not dead.
The music world was shocked when Jimi Hendrix, one of rock's most towering icons, died suddenly on September 18th at the age of 27.
During his short career, Hendrix flailed his electric guitar into some of the most unusual sounds of an unusual music.
An astonishing performer whose on-stage gyrations could make Elvis Presley look like a PE teacher.
Sadly, Hendrix wouldn't be the only 27-year-old talent that would be lost in 1970. Just a few weeks later, rock legend Janis Joplin passed on October 4th at the age of 27. Joplin was in Los Angeles recording her upcoming album, Pearl, when she was found unresponsive in her hotel room after missing a recording session. The passing of both Hendrix and Joplin, coupled with the deaths of blues musician Alan Blind Owl Wilson earlier that September and Rolling Stones guitarist Brian Jones a few years earlier, marked the unofficial beginning of the infamous 27 Club. In September, some now iconic TV shows debuted.
So, here I am in Minneapolis. New life, new job. Well, not a new job yet. First, I had to go on an interview at a local TV station.
The job that's open is associate producer.
I like it. Associate producer.
Mary's making new friends. Make yourself at home on Tuesday.
I painted this whole room without bothering you. It won't cost me a cent. I'm going to sell the old furniture to buy new. You won't touch anything in my room? Have I ever? You won't be...
Hey kids, Hollywood Boulevard. If anyone had told me 4 months ago that I'd be driving an old school bus filled with my 5 children and a large dog through Hollywood, I'd have thought they were crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, America's latest success story, The Partridge Family.
The Doors frontman Jim Morrison was convicted of indecent exposure and profanity on September 20th. The charges stemmed from a 1969 concert in Miami, during which Morrison allegedly used some swear words and may or may not have dropped his pants. Morrison was sentenced to 6 months in jail and a $500 fine for the scandalous incident. To this day, Doors bandmates maintain Morrison's pants stayed on.
This is PBS, the Public Broadcasting Service.
PBS began operations as a U.S. television network on the 5th. The nonprofit organization, dedicated to high-quality educational programming, has been the broadcast home of beloved children's shows like Sesame Street, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and The Magic School Bus, as well as stuffier grown-up shows like Masterpiece Theater and Downton Abbey, which have way less puppets. Gary Trudeau's satirical political comic strip Doonesbury made its debut in newspapers on October 26th. The scathingly topical cartoon became the first daily comic strip to win a Pulitzer Prize for the strip titled Stonewall, published on August 12, 1974, that took aim at the then unfolding Watergate scandal. Although Doonesbury has gone on several hiatuses, Trudeau continues to publish new strips half a century later, continuing to prove that comic strips don't have to be funny. On November 4th, the nation was stunned by the discovery of Jeannie, a 13-year-old girl who had grown up in almost total isolation.
Mr. Wiley, why did you keep your daughter in a room?
Mr. Wiley has no comment.
The abuse was so severe that Jeannie had no concept of language. When her mother finally got her out of the house, Jeannie's developmental age was similar to that of an infant's. Jeannie became a ward of the state, and although her case initially received widespread attention, she never made a significant recovery, and her current whereabouts are unknown. Tragedy struck again on November 14th, when a jet carrying the Marshall University football team crashed in Canova, West Virginia. The team had been returning from a loss to East Carolina University when the plane struck some trees during its approach to the tri-state airport and crashed. Everyone on board perished, including 37 players, the coach, and 25 team boosters. The devastating loss nearly resulted in Marshall suspending its football program indefinitely. Flash forward to December 22nd, 2006, when the film We Are Marshall debuted. The movie stars Matthew McConaughey and a pre-MCU Anthony Mackie. Chicanery was up in the air on December 5th when the Stanley Cup, the Conn Smythe Trophy, and the Bill Masterson Trophy were all stolen during a break-in at the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto. Luckily, the Stanley Cup was only a replica, but the other two trophies were very real. The trophies were unceremoniously returned just a few weeks later, when the thieves left them in the driveway of a Toronto police officer, after discovering that as far as ransom goes, the trophies were basically worthless. One of the oddest meetings in White House history occurred on December 21st, when Elvis Presley paid President Richard Nixon a visit in the Oval Office. The king of rock and roll dropped in on Nixon to offer his services as an anti-drug spokesman, showing up at the White House gates unannounced. The Secret Service didn't bother to search the king. If they had, they would have discovered the antique Colt .45 pistol Presley carried inside, which he presented to Nixon as a gift. It's good to be king, just for a while. The famous photograph of their strange conversation is the single most requested image from the National Archives. And that's how 1970 ended, with a historic meeting of two rulers, neither of whom would reign much longer. 1971 was right around the corner, bringing the demise of several more musical icons and the conviction of one of the 20th century's most notorious criminals. And Dirty Harry would begin patrolling cinema streets. Geez, the 70s need to lighten up. But that is for next year. Coming soon, 1971. So what do you think? What was your fondest?
That's so crazy. It's definitely such a different time back then. I find history to be ridiculous and super interesting. And I love like just going from the year to year. Right now, I'm kind of going through the decades of like pre-1970. And then I love the timeline because it just goes year to year to year to year to year. So I hope everybody enjoyed it. Is that something that people are interested in us doing every Tuesday morning? They're each about 20 minutes long. They're not terribly long. Thank you, Amber. Yes, and we are, well, I got 1 minute out. That clock says 2. This one says 1. I don't know. Dope. It's very, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure, if what people remember. I know that there's people that were around in the 70s. I watch. I don't know. $40 seconds. So yeah, maybe we'll do that every Tuesday. We'll do 1971 next Tuesday morning, and then we'll play a song, and then I'll figure out what we're gonna do for our morning speaker. But 20 seconds. Make sure you're packing up, rolling up, heating up, grinding up, rolling up. You better hurry the fuck up. I cleaned my banger. It's cooled down now. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cheers, everybody. Happy 420. I don't know which one to go with, so I'm going with I'm going to play that one. This one. Cheers.
It's gonna be a good day. Can you feel that beat? Motivation's in the air. Get up on your feet. From the morning hustle to the sunset glow, with Cove-TV on, let the good vibes show. So smile big, let your worries melt away. It's gonna be a good day, come what may. You've got the power, you've got the drive. Today's your canvas, paint it alive. The ocean breeze, the tropical scene. Waking up strong, living the dream. No matter what comes, you've got what it takes. With every little step, feel the ground shake. Let the music move you, let your spirit play. It's a Cove kind of morning, leading the way. It's gonna be a good day, can you feel that beat? Motivation's in the air, get up on your feet. From the morning hustle to the sunset glow, with Cove-TV on, let the good vibes show. So smile big, let your worries melt away. It's gonna be a good day, come what may. Every sunrise brings a brand new chance. So let's take today, make it a dance. With every breath in and every step ahead, we're writing our story, enough said. It's gonna be a good day, can you feel that beat? Motivation's in the air, get up on your feet. From the morning hustle to the sunset glow, with Cove-TV on, let the good vibes show. So smile big, let your worries melt away. It's gonna be a good day, come what may. So rise up, Cove Crew, let's make it bright. Positivity shining, everything's right. It's gonna be a good day, let's seize it true. With Cove-TV mornings, it's all about you.
All right, let's do a Dr. K this morning. Much love, Bill. Hope you feel better, brother. Here we go.
And so what I tend to do is I have these negative thoughts, and throughout my day, I push them to the side. I push them away. I push them away. I push them away. And so the moment I wake up, I haven't built any barriers yet. So what happens? They come flooding back into my mind. First thing in the morning. Does anyone have a morning routine to start the day? I get bombarded with negative thoughts The moment
He is reading a Reddit post, and then he'll dive into the topic. It's a pretty short Reddit post, so.
I wake up, I get bombarded with negative thoughts. Does anyone have a morning routine to start the day off? What we're going to talk about is what to do if you wake up in the morning and you're bombarded with negative thoughts. So the first thing to understand is that early morning awakening and a very, very high amount of negative thoughts first thing in the morning is one of the most specific signs for a mood disorder and especially a depressive episode. So let's explain that for a second. What do I mean by specific signs? So in medicine, we have certain things that are sensitive and certain things that are specific. So things that are sensitive are things that people are likely to have if they have a particular disease, but they're not very specific. So I'll give you all an example. Let's look at something like concentration difficulties. Concentration difficulties are not specific to depression. So if I have difficulty with concentrations, I could have a major depressive episode. I could have ADHD. I could be high on a substance. I may be physically ill. I may have schizophrenia. There are all kinds of reasons why I would have difficulty with concentration. So that's not a specific sign for depression. Early morning awakening, and especially having lots of negative thoughts early in the morning, is pretty specific. Even low mood throughout the day, for example, can be common in grief, or it can be common in things like even cancer, for example, physical illnesses. But specifically waking up very early in the morning, we're talking 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., with a mind that's running very, very high on negative thoughts. It's like you wake up and you're bombarded with negative thoughts. Can actually be a specific sign of depression. So when I'm evaluating patients for depression, one of the things that I'll ask them is like, okay, so you're feeling sad and down about yourself and things like that. What time of the day do you feel that? And the more they feel it kind of first thing in the morning, especially if they wake up at 5 a.m., that makes me really concerned about a clinical illness. So if you fall into that camp, I'd highly recommend that you get clinically evaluated. That being said, there are a lot of people who wake up first thing in the morning with a lot of negative thoughts. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have a clinical illness. There are other reasons why we kind of do that. So now what we're going to talk about is understand a little bit about what's going on in the mind when you wake up with negative thoughts and what to do about it. So sometimes we worry about stuff. And when we worry about stuff, it's kind of hard to deal with it, right? So I don't know if this kind of makes sense, but worrying about stuff doesn't necessarily solve problems. So if I'm anxious about something and I'm thinking, oh my God, like, are people going to invite me to the party? Are they not going to invite me to the party? I can think about it. I can think about it. I can think about it. And at the end of those thoughts, let's say an hour later, has my anxiety been resolved? Have things been fixed? No, they haven't, right? So worrying about things in the moment sometimes doesn't actually fix problems. If it did fix problems, no one would have anxiety, or everyone with anxiety would have perfect lives. Because worrying about stuff, if it actually fixed stuff, like that would be great. The first thing to understand about worrying, and especially worrying first thing in the morning, is it doesn't necessarily do anything. So why do we do it? We do it because our brain is concerned about a couple of things. It's warning us about a couple of things, or sometimes we have negative self-attitude. So we're thinking negative things about ourselves. And then normally what happens, or not normally, but what happens nowadays is when we start to have negative thoughts, we tend to distract ourselves from them. So since thinking about them doesn't actually solve the problem, what we end up doing is distracting ourselves. This has become easier and easier with the availability of technology. So once I start browsing social media, I can distract myself from my negative thoughts. I can watch something. I can play something. I can do all kinds of different stuff to distract myself from these negative thoughts. And when I distract those negative thoughts, what happens to them? They actually go dormant. They don't get fixed, right? So if I lack self-esteem, or I'm worried that people aren't going to invite me to a party, and I spend 4 hours playing a particular video game, at the end of those 4 hours, those thoughts come back. And so then what happens if we think about our days become filled with distraction. So now I'm going to play games for 4 hours. I stop for a second, the negative thoughts come back, and now I need to do something else. So I distract myself in another way. I distract myself in another way. Sometimes I distract myself with work. Sometimes I distract myself. I even will socialize, right? So even if I feel like I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life and I have a group of buddies and we're all going to go out drinking tonight, I can go do some fun stuff, but I never deal with the problem. And so what I tend to do is I have these negative thoughts, and throughout my day, I push them to the side. I push them away. I push them away. I push them away. And so the moment I wake up, I haven't built any barriers yet. So what happens? They come flooding back into my mind first thing in the morning. So how do we deal with this? What should we not do and what should we do? So the first thing to not do if you wake up with negative thoughts in the morning is use any kind of technology. So it's so easy because tech is so good at this stuff. Suppression of our amygdala and our limbic system, which is our emotional circuitry, our fear center. So social media, memes, video games, Reddit, whatever. If I watch some kind of technology or engage in some kind of technology, it'll suppress my emotional circuitry. The worst thing about a lot of social media is that even if it suppresses your circuitry in the short term, over the long term, it actually worsens your mental health. So there's been studies that show that the more time you spend on social media, things like Facebook or Instagram or Reddit or whatever, the worse your mental health becomes over time. And that taking a break or reducing your social media or technology usage improves mental health over time. Now, the challenge, though, is that's over time, right? I'd put it to you this way. Let's say that there's even data that shows that, for example, having 2 drinks a week, 2 alcoholic beverages a week, correlates with improvements in mental health. And some people are really confused by that. They're like, how can drinking help with your mental health? And it turns out there's a confounding variable. What kind of person drinks 2 drinks a week? What is the setting in which you have 2 drinks a week? It's almost always social. So once a week, I'm going to go meet up with a friend. I know my limit, so I'm going to have like 2 beers with dinner. We're going to hang out for a while, and then we're going to go our separate ways. I'm going to go to bed on time. It's not like we're out there getting hammered. So 2 drinks a week actually correlates with social activity, and that's what's responsible for the improvement in mental health. And if we go to 10 drinks a week, 12 drinks a week, 15 drinks a week, then our mental health gets worse and worse and worse. And social media in that same way, when we use it temporarily, if I'm having a really rough week and I spend 2 hours a week playing video games to kind of distract myself, kind of cool off a little bit after a tense day, that can actually be helpful because I want to suppress those emotional circuits, because the rest of the week I'm actually dealing with my problems. But as technology uses rises and rises and rises, even though it's suppressing in the short term, it can make things worse in the long term. So if you have negative thoughts first thing in the morning, most important thing is don't slip into technology usage, because what that's going to do is push it away and then it'll come roaring back later. Second thing, and this is going to sound kind of weird, is don't try to fix the problem when you're feeling bad. And y'all may be kind of confused by that. You're like, what do you mean when am I supposed to like fix the problem? So let's understand, this is really important. So let's say I've got negative thoughts and I wake up first thing in the morning and here are my 4 negative thoughts. And so what we can do in the mind is we can engage with negative thoughts, right? So let's say let me just try to find something like an example. So let's say that I wake up in the morning and I think to myself, no one really cares about me. Okay, so that's this thought. And then what I do is I start thinking, okay, no one really cares about me. And then I start thinking about it, or I'm feeling really lonely. Let's say I'm feeling lonely, okay? And I start thinking about this thought of loneliness. And then I think, okay, if I'm feeling lonely, why don't I go and socialize? Let me call up a friend of mine. But if you're in a negative frame of thought, if this is the mindset that you're in, when you think about solutions, what does your mind actually say? Oh, people don't want to invite you, right? And you're like, and so even though you can try to solve the problem, it's kind of like the more you engage with your negative thoughts and you start arguing with yourself, and like the negative thoughts grow and grow and grow. And then let's say like you fight that thought for a little while and you're like, oh no, I don't want to trust that. People really do love me. Let me text someone. So you text someone first thing in the morning. Hey, you want to hang out this weekend at 9 a.m.? And then they don't respond in 15 minutes. Then how do you feel? They don't care about me. Does this make sense? So oftentimes what we'll discover is that when you have negative thoughts first thing in the morning and you engage with them, these thoughts, the more you engage with them, the more they actually start to spiral. And then you're kind of stuck in this like negative thought loop where you're spiraling in negativity. And this is the key thing to understand. So when you wake up in the morning and you have negative thoughts, you want to fix them. But I don't know if this kind of makes sense, but in that frame of mind, you can't effectively fix them. If that worked, we wouldn't be in this problem in the first place. In fact, engaging with those negative thoughts and trying to fix them in that moment actually makes things worse, because you wake up and you think through that stuff. You think. And the more time you spend thinking, the worse that you feel, until eventually what happens is you hit this state of cognitive exhaustion where you're like, and you get out of bed and you go grab your phone and then you distract yourself. You push all the negative thoughts, you push them to the side. And now we're going to focus on this stuff in the middle. Okay, there we go. We're going to focus on the stuff in the middle with distraction. And then the second the distraction thought stops, the thoughts are going to come rushing back. So oddly enough, don't try to fix things. That's the second thing to be careful about. Third thing is avoid substances. So this kind of goes back to this distracting thing and is almost in the same vein as, avoiding technology, but be careful about things like getting high first thing in the morning and like getting high when you're feeling bad and like drinking and stuff like that, because it's going to just create more problems down the line, especially because substances are more likely to put you into a negative frame of mind where you can actually spiral. So then the question is, okay, if I shouldn't use technology, don't try to fix the problem and don't use substances. What should I do? First thing you should do is go for a walk. So this is key. When we're in this frame of mind where we've got some weird thoughts, the right move is to not engage with them and let them spiral. But what we actually want to do instead is kind of let them fizzle out. So we don't want to distract ourselves by pushing them to the side. But when we go for a walk, or there are other things that you can do. So what I would say is go for a walk or clean something. There's this weird effect when we clean things or when we go for a walk, is that like the thoughts we're not really pushing them away. We're sort of letting them be there, but we're not engaging with them. And I don't know if y'all have experienced this, but like when you clean stuff and when you go for a walk, your mind will start to wander. So what sort of happens is the energy in the mind starts to kind of like dissipate. You start just naturally thinking about like other stuff. So now you've got 2 thoughts left that are bad, but then you start thinking about other things, right? And then you've got like 2 kind of neutral thoughts. And then as you keep walking, what's going to happen is you're going to get 1 bad thought and then a couple good ones. And then eventually that bad thought will go away. And then you're just kind of like thinking about, okay, what do I need to do today? And the key thing there is that in this moment, you haven't engaged with the thoughts. You can kind of think through them a little bit. You're not going to try to solve them. You're just going to let you're going to let them kind of like, it's almost like, I don't know if y'all have seen like a dog shaking off water after it's been in the rain or whatever, but like that's kind of what we're doing in our mind anytime we clean or anytime we go for a walk. The third thing to do with negative thoughts, assign a time to deal with them. So remember we said we don't want to fix them now, but sometimes we have to address them. But what we want to do is approach them from a clear head and methodically. So this is like literally what happens in therapy. So what's really cool about therapy, and I've seen this change a lot, is that sometimes I'll notice a shift in my patients where they learn that they can take their negative thoughts. They've got a box over here. They wake up in the morning with negative thoughts. Here's day 1, here's day 2. And then let's say here's day 3 when their boss gets mad at them. And what they actually learn over time is they're like, oh, okay, like I'm feeling bad right now. I'm going to talk about this with Dr. K on Thursday. Next day they wake up, they're like, I feel this way right now. I'm going to talk with Dr. K about this on Thursday. I'm feeling this way right now. I'm going to talk with Dr. K about this on Thursday. And then what happens when they come into my office is we're like, cool, okay, let's break these walls down. Let's let all that crap out. We're going to let it all out and we're going to kind of deal with it methodically, one at a time. And so what we can almost do is compartmentalize dealing with our problems. And the key thing that when you assign a time is that when you're clear-headed, you can actually fix stuff. Do y'all get that? The biggest problem here is that when we are emotionally active and we're not clear-headed, it makes it even harder to fix the problems. Even though the problem seems so in our face, when we let it set it down, put it aside, and then approach it with a clear head, suddenly things become so much easier. And so one of the biggest advantages of therapy is sure, you can have a clinician who's trained in a bunch of stuff, and that's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. It's a great evidence-based intervention. But half of the advantage of therapy is just learning how to compartmentalize and then approaching problems in sort of a calm way. And the nice thing about a therapist is that you've got someone there who's going to keep you from spiraling and guide you in hopefully a productive manner. But the major principle here is that assigning a time to deal with them. So then when I'm feeling pretty good about myself, maybe before I have lunch, I'm going to sit down with a piece of paper and I'm going to like think through those thoughts. I'm going to try to sum them. I'm going to pick one thing. Okay, people don't like me. Okay, and then let me try to socialize. Okay, let me send a text. And then even in that moment, you're going to kind of acknowledge for a moment that, okay, like if I send a text, they may not get back to me right away. That's okay. Do I need to find? And then when they don't respond, if you're kind of really in a clear frame of mind, do I need different friends? Instead of it suddenly being, if they don't respond to you, it's not a shortcoming of you. It could be a shortcoming of them. But
good morning, Mr. Braley. How are you? I hope you're having a wonderful morning, man. We're just hanging out doing our morning speaker this morning. We're listening to a Dr. K. This is such a fucking good one. Holy moly, this is a ridiculously good one. I hope you're having a wonderful morning, man. We got just a little bit left of it.
But when you're in this negative headspace and there are people who are neglectful of you in life, it's never their fault. Because in this negative headspace, in your spiral, it's always your fault. And so when you have negative thoughts first thing in the morning, I'd say very simply, clean. Go for a walk. Don't use technology. Don't use substances. And don't try to solve the problems. Instead, assign a separate time where you're of clear head to approach whatever your concerns are. And when people do this, something magical starts to happen. May not happen overnight, but over time, you'll have fewer and fewer and fewer negative thoughts in the morning. Because when we engage, I don't know if this makes sense, but when we engage with the negative thoughts in the morning, we actually ramp them up. Do y'all get that? Like one thought leads to another thought leads to another thought. Like this grows. When I start thinking these, then it grows and grows and grows and grows and grows, and then I feel overwhelmed. Then what happens is if I'm engaging with my thoughts in the morning, okay, so I'll draw one last thing to illustrate this. So I have 4 bad thoughts, and then I engage with them, and it becomes 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever. And now here's the key thing. When I distract myself and I push all these thoughts to the outside of my mind, how many are left? And now tomorrow morning when I wake up, how many thoughts, negative thoughts am I going to have? I have more than what I started with, right? And then I'm going to engage with these. I'm going to create more and more and more and more and more. And then I'm going to have more the next day and more the next day and more the next day because I'm spending all this cognitive energy. Nothing is actually getting fixed. So don't engage with your negative thoughts when you're in a negative frame of mind. Set it aside for later. And honestly, when people start doing this, when you start controlling how and when your mind thinks a particular way, that's when your mind starts to get purified. And last thing just to keep in mind is, remember, we started that sometimes early morning awakening is actually a sign of a clinical illness. So I'd recommend getting evaluated if you fall into that category. If you found this video helpful, check out Dr. K's guide. We've spent hundreds of hours writing and filming to help people understand their mind so that they can build the lives that they want. So check out the link in the description below.
Oh my goodness gracious. So much amazingness. I've always said even like a bad day isn't a negative thing. Your brain works with or without you. And so if there's stuff that's like setting you off or potentially like, I don't like using the word triggering, but you know what I mean? There's a reason behind that. And you just kind of got to ride the bad mood wave. It's going to fade. Your brain is going to throw its temper tantrum. And then it'll chill the fuck out. And then you can be like, and then just sit down and have an honest conversation with it. I know it sounds very weird. But you'll be like, yo, what the fuck just happened? Like, my whole day just went to garbage. Why? And then, I mean, like, don't fight it. A negative, not every day is going to be a positive, amazing, great day. You know, we're all human. And evaluate those negative days. Embrace the negative days for what they are. Because one, I always say, when life gets tough, it's just showing you how strong you truly are. And I don't know, if I ever met anybody who was like, I've never had a bad day. I don't know what sadness is. I'm like, bro, you need to space yourself for me, please. It's scary. Let's go with this one. Cheers, everybody.
Where mornings glow, a place where hearts find room to grow. Coffee's brewing, the day feels right, sparking joy in the morning light. Palm trees sway, skies painted blue. Every moment feels alive and true. We gather here, a paradise divine. Cove, where vibes align. It's good to see you. The day begins in the Cove, where connection wins. Cannabis clouds and sunshine's kiss. Together we rise in a morning like this. Whispers, the breeze runs free. A canvas painted with tranquility. Coffee warms as the herb ignites. This is the shore, a rhythm of peace that we all adore. Together we dream, together we stay. The Cove lights our path each day. It's good to see you, the day begins. In the Cove, where connection wins. Cannabis clouds and sunshine's kiss. Together we rise in a morning like this.
Right, that's a good one, Amber. That's a good one. Well, I don't know a whole lot else. It's been a damn good morning so far. I'm excited for today. I'm super excited for Guardians this afternoon. Hope to see everybody. Definitely come check it out. It's going to be a great afternoon show. But I think that's going to be all she wrote this morning. I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful rest of their Tuesday. Great to stay in history. Great timeline Tuesday. I don't know. We'll do 1971 next Tuesday. Great morning speaker. I loved the Dr. K this morning. That was fucking great. Hope to see everybody this afternoon, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, chilling in the Cove. Come hang out, and we'll do a few chapters Guardians of Unity. You definitely don't want to miss it this afternoon. And then it is motherfucking totally terrific, twisted, tie-dye, token, taco, token tunes. I fucked that all up. Tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, only on Sir Costa-Lot's page. Don't miss out. Come drop that hashtag token tunes and see if you can see which song you pick and see which playlist it's from. Please make sure you're following everybody on the Cove-TV team from the one and only Sir Costa-Lot. Damn, ripped this morning. Much love, Costi. I hope you're having a wonderful day, man. And I'm super excited for Token Tunes tonight. Great retoke last night. Make sure you're following the one and only Michael Hugo Man Bear. Much love, Man Bear. I hope you had a great ass birthday yesterday. Make sure you're following the one and only Europe Entertainment. Make sure you're checking out those rocket boxes. And don't forget about the Europe Away. Go and get your entry in. Make sure you're following the one and only Mad Productions. Much love, Magic. I hope you have a wonderful day, man. Don't miss out on any of the music and show and stuff. All the stuff he's got going on in April. Don't miss out on any of it. And make sure you're following the one and only Dabber Chick. Catch her Dabber Chick show tomorrow morning on the West Coast, afternoon on the East Coast, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time. And as always, thank you to everybody who helped support the Cove. Y'all make this happen. Cove-TV is truly, literally brought to you by viewers like yourself. And it could not be done without you. So much love, everybody. Hope you all have a blessed, amazing day. Stay high. Get some shit done. And we'll hang out this afternoon. Much love, everybody. Have an amazing, wonderful day. I scrolled too far. There it is.
Hey, you, that spark in your eyes. I see you shining bright like the morning skies. That's got its ups and downs, its twists and turns, but every step you take is a lesson learned. When the road gets rough and you feel unsure, just know you're a fighter, you're meant to endure. Beanz is here to say you're doing just fine. You got the heart, the strength, you've got the shine. Beanz hopes you have a wonderful day. You're amazing, don't forget, in every way. When life gets tough, just remember this truth. You're strong, you're brave, and you've got the proof. Every challenge you face, every mountain you climb, shows the power within every single time. So smile, stand tall, don't be led astray. Beanz hopes you have a wonderful day. You got that courage, you got that fire. You're the kind of person who lifts others higher. When the weight feels heavy and the path seems long, remember you're built to be tough and strong. You're a rock star, a warrior, no need to pretend. You got the grit and the heart to the very end. So go out and conquer whatever comes your way. Beanz knows you got this every single day. Beanz hopes you have a wonderful day. You're amazing, don't forget, in every way. When life gets tough, just remember this truth. You're strong, you're brave, and you've got the proof. Every challenge you face, every mountain you climb, shows the power within every single time. So smile, stand tall, don't be led astray. Beanz hopes you have a wonderful day. When the world feels heavy and you're feeling low, just take a deep breath and let that strength show. You're not just surviving, you're living out loud. Be proud of who you are, stand tall and be proud. Life's just a test of how far you've come. You're shining like the brightest sun, so keep your head high, let the worries fade. Beanz is cheering you on every step of the way. Hopes you have a wonderful day. You're amazing, don't forget, in every way. When life gets tough, just remember this truth. You're strong, you're brave, and you've got the proof. Every challenge you face, every mountain you climb, shows the power within every single time. So smile, stand tall, don't be led astray. Beanz hopes you have a wonderful day. Hey you, yeah, you're gonna be okay. Beanz believes in you each and every day. So go out there, shine, let nothing get in your way. Beanz hopes you have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Much love, everybody. We'll catch y'all later.